Good evening, I'm Bill Snyder, Sports Information Director at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and welcome to another edition of Bulldog Blitz. With me as always, Gulf Coast head coach Steve Campbell. Well, it was the whiteout game between Gulf Coast and Pearl River, and the whiteout turned into a shutout as the Bulldogs blank Pearl River 34-0. It's the first time since 1974 that we've shut out our arch rival, the Wildcats, also extending the home winning streak to 18 games. So all in all, a pretty darn good night. Coach, congratulations. A great win against Pearl River.
Well, thank you, Bill. It was a great night. Really proud of the way the team played. Defense pitched a shutout, and anytime you can shut out a South Division opponent, you got to be very pleased, and especially when it's Pearl River with their explosive offense and the great job that they do spreading the ball around. Really pleased with the way the defense played. Offensively, I thought we played well. We had 0 turnovers, which if you can pitch a shutout and have 0 turnovers, you're going to have a great chance to win. Proud of the kicking game. Stephen Broccoli had his best game. He was perfect on extra points and 2 for 2 on field goals, and the kickoff coverage team did a great job. I thought our punter, Zach Pinkerton, did a great job. So, I was really pleased. It was all-around team victory, and anytime you can get that in this league, especially against your biggest rival, you've got to be very pleased.
Very pleased indeed. It was a complete game. We're going to take a look at all the facets of that complete game. When we come back in just a few minutes, we'll check out the highlights from Gulf Coast and Pearl River here in just a few minutes. You're watching Bulldog Blitz here on WLOX.
At Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, it's like this. High school graduates can take classes close to home that transfer easily to universities. The convenience and flexibility of online classes give students of all ages the opportunity to earn a degree. Apply online and chat live with an admissions specialist or visit us on Facebook. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, celebrating academic excellence for 100 years.
And welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. Well, the 90th battle between Gulf Coast and Pearl River featured the whiteout game. We had the all-white uniforms and the white helmets. Looked fabulous as the Bulldogs came out of the gate. Took the opening kickoff, had a nice solid drive. Byron Nettles had a nice run. DeQuill Williams, a nice little inside screen. And Stephen Broccoli started us off with a field goal, making it 3-0. And you talked about Stephen. I talked to him the other night at the soccer game, and he was talking about, I've only kicked 2 field goals, and as if it was right on cue, we got a chance to get him in, and the special teams, kind of set the tone there with a nice drive and a good kick by Stephen.
They did. It's always good to score touchdowns. If you can score touchdowns, and that's you get twice as many points as a field goal. But whenever you get down there and you can't score a touchdown, it's great to know that you've got a kicker like Stephen to come in and drill it through, and that gave us a good lead, 3-0. Was pleased with our execution early. We got down in the red zone and kind of sputtered, but then we came through and got the field goal, which gave us our lead, and then defense did a great job of getting a stop and getting us the ball back. So it was a good first drive. You always like to come out and get some points on the board on that first drive.
Exactly, because they came out with Darius Holder starting the game at quarterback. Then Dylan Favre came in, and then the Gulf Coast defensive line basically took over the game. The first shot across the bow was a Travis Taylor sack of Favre. We get the ball back, and then we get the offense going. Hatton hits DeQuill Williams, another highlight reel catch by DeQuill in the back of the end zone, making it 10-0 after the first quarter. Then the sacks started piling up. Cavellis Luckett had one, Sherman Boyd. I think I had a half a sack and I wasn't even playing. Stephen Broccoli got a field goal. So at that point, midway through the first half, we're up 13-0, and defense is already setting the tone of the game, and that was really nice to see.
It was. Our defense, played great last week against Northeast and held them to 7 points, and I think those were, the game was out of hand when they got their 7 points. So defense came out and really set a tempo. We, had worked hard all week on getting pressure on the quarterback, and a lot of those pressures were with a 3-man rush. And then we brought Luckett off the edge a time or two and got 4 guys after him. But we're really pleased with the way that the defensive line, Coach Dorsett Davis, has done a great job of tutoring those guys and working with them, and they have gotten better and better and better each week. and really did a good job of putting pressure on Holder and then Favre when he got in there. And, you know, the key to stopping a passing attack is putting pressure on the quarterback and not letting the quarterback feel comfortable. And those guys really did a great job of that. Secondary did a great job of covering them up. He had to hold the ball, which allowed our D-line and linebackers to be able to get back there. So Coach Davis, Coach Moore, they had a great game plan, and the defense really went out and executed it really well.
Yeah, speaking of defense, some more defense. We got that field goal by Broccoli, making it 13-0, and then Travis Taylor tips the pass. Brandon Keel picks it off for a pick six, making it 20-0 at halftime. That's back-to-back weeks we've had an interception run back for a touchdown. I think that's 3 already this year, so that side of the ball really capitalizing on turnovers. We had 5 more last night, so our turnover ratio on the plus side is through the roof, and that's got to make you sleep a little bit easier at night.
It does. You know, whenever you win the turnover battle and you can score on defense, whenever you have a pick six or a scoop and score, that you're the probability of you winning skyrockets. And whenever you get 5 turnovers to 0 turnovers, you're going to win the football game. And our defense created turnovers, and offensively, you know, it wasn't our most prolific game. You know, the week before, I think we had 600-something yards. Last night, I hadn't finalized the stats yet. It was a good night offensively, but we didn't have a whole lot of explosive plays. But neither did they. You know, football comes down to turnovers and explosive plays. We won the turnover battle big time, and I'm sure we won the explosive play, even though we had 16 explosives a week before. Did not have 16, but the turnovers that the defense created and our guys doing a great job of protecting the football, difference in the football game.
You know, we did our usual running the ball, but it wasn't the huge numbers, but it was maybe 10, maybe 15 yards a pop, that kind of thing. They don't look explosive, but that moves the chains, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, definitely, especially when you're playing a team that spreads it out like they do and runs a tempo offense. You like to, you know, I hear a lot of people now talk about time of possession you know, down south, time of possession, whenever I don't know if you're Oregon and BYU, maybe time of possession don't count that much. But down here where teams still run the football and play defense, time of possession does count. And anytime you can keep their explosive offense on the sideline, you've done a lot to help yourself. So I was glad that we were able to move the ball on the ground. We were able to hit some big passes and move the chains. And again, was pleased with you know, Pearl River does a good job you know, their D coordinator's a guy named Jim Nile, been there 2 years, and his philosophy, he mixes his defenses. He'll be 3-3 one play, 6-1 blitz the next, bear the next, double eagle. He did a great job of mixing up his defenses. Really pleased with the offensive line and backs of picking up the blitz, protecting Clem, which that's a big part of ball security. Everybody thinks quarterbacks, you know, throwing in interceptions, ball security, or the backs. Yeah, but the line has to protect to keep the quarterback from having to get rid of it quick. They've got to keep the backs from getting hit in the backfield and having turnovers. So I was pleased with the way that the guys were able to pick up all of the different problems that Pearl River's defense presents.
Yeah, I think we had the ball 47 minutes. You want to talk about time of possession, there's another good stat there as far as holding on to the ball, playing keep away, because they do have a high-powered offense. Now, in the third quarter, the defense continued to set the tone, and how about the touchdown run by Eli Hughes? He gets caught up. There's 15 people in a rugby scrum, and the next thing you know, he's popping out of there. It was a beautiful 11-yard touchdown run to make it 27-0. For all intensive purposes, putting the game out of reach, but if Pearl River thought they were coming back, then the defense stepped up again, more pressure, really creating chaos. And what was impressive, as you said, Coach, most of those times there were sacks. They were just 3-man defensive line fronts. Yeah,
you know, defense did a great job. Travis Taylor had a great game. Cavellis Luckett played well. Keel had a great game. Dawson, I think it was Dawson, once they did have that sweep and then the guy broke it. He fumbled and broke it back up the middle. Dawson Wells showed his speed and saved a touchdown. Finnest Armstrong had one of the biggest hits of the year. You know, they had started getting some stuff going with their little sweep game. And then Finis came off a block and boom, really, and that stopped their sweep.
Kind of a WWE takedown is what it was.
It was. He looked like the Ultimate Warrior or somebody of that nature. Cowboy Bob Kelly from back home. He picked him up and slammed him.
Junkyard Dog, sure.
Junkyard Dog, that's right. That's right. We have really made an emphasis the last 2 weeks of finishing and understanding that, not just paying it lip service, but let's go out and set the tempo the first 5 minutes of the second half. And the guys really took that to heart. With experience, they're understanding that every team in this league's got great players, and it's the ones that come out and play with the most intensity and the most desire and passion. And the guys really did that in the second half. Very pleased that the tone that was set in the second half.
It was a tone, businesslike but aggressive. We talked about that defense. 6 sacks on the night and creating 5 turnovers. I think we held them to something like 165, 170 yards. That's back-to-back weeks. We've held teams under 200 yards of total offense. Then in the fourth quarter, we hit Tyrone Williams on that 25-yard touchdown pass, who basically almost knocked out one of their defensive backs on his way to the end zone. And you really saw the flash. We've seen DeQuill make great plays, and we're starting to see that from Tyrone Williams, too, and some of the other wideouts. And that ended the scoring and made it 34-0. And, then we saw some nice runs. Antoine Wells almost broke another one at the end of the game, and then Golf got in and play, and then a lot of the defensive players got in as well. So as you said, wanting a total team victory, and it really felt like it was a total team victory last night to the tune of 34-0.
It was. Everybody contributed. It was glad we were able to get the ball to Tyrone, because he's a playmaker. We were 1 block away. We hit Tyrone on the screen earlier in the game, and we were 1 block away from him being able to take that to the house. We got him a little vertical route, and like I said, he is a big physical receiver, freshman. Did a great job of catching the football, putting the defensive back on the ground, and then racing to the end zone. He's got a great future, and he's a heck of a football player. Again, it was a total team victory. Really proud of the way the team played. Still a lot of things we need to work on. Our tempo, offensively, we're still not playing as fast as we want to play. Our execution, offensively, there's still some things that we got to get honed up, as far as when we check from one play to another play, making sure that we communicate across the line. So there's still a lot of good things, which is good. There's still some meat left on the bone that we can go back out and keep improving, and there's some stuff that we can definitely get better at as we make this stretch run.
So the Bulldogs win at 34-0. As we said, it's the first time we've shut out Pearl River since 1974. And it keeps that home winning streak going at 18 in a row, and it's also a division win in the South, which is also kind of a pretty big deal as well. Well, coming up on Bulldog Blitz, we'll take a look at one of the players who had a big game last night in our player profile segment. Heading into the break, we'll take a look at some more of the scores from around the MACJC last night. You're watching Bulldog Blitz here on WLOX. All over the South, marching bands are tuning up and gearing up to go for the gold at the 13th Annual Gold Medal Classic hosted by Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. On Saturday, October 6th, A.O. May Memorial Stadium comes alive with the South's premier marching band festival and competition. Trophies in 8 different categories are up for grabs, including the coveted Overall Spirit Award. So come join us at Gulf Coast October 6th as we strike up the band at the Gold Medal Classic. And welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. Well, of course, each week on our show, we profile some of our sophomore leaders. This week, we'll go over to the defensive side of the ball and check out linebacker Brandon Keel.
I went to Ole Miss out of high school, and things just didn't go right. I didn't really like it up there, and I told Coach Campbell that if things didn't go right, that I'd give him a call, and then we'd see what would happen from there. And I called him, and he said that they had a spot for me, so I came down here and started last year.
And Northeast gets the ball first. First and 10. Frazier in trouble. He's hammered. The sack, fumble.
Yeah, I had a penalty in the beginning of the game and Coach got mad about it, and I think I kind of made up for myself there at the end of the game. As a freshman coming in, we had great leaders last year, like DeMario Gaynor, Alonzo Lawrence, and them guys kind of took me under their wing and showed me the ropes. It's a lot different. It's instead of following they're following you. and you're leading them. And you know, them guys showed us a great way to do that last year. And we've tried our best to get these freshmen right, and I think we've done a good job. They came in ready to play, and they've done great so far this season. Coach says all the time we can still control our own destiny, and we can be as good as we want to be. And yeah, I mean, it was a heartbreaker to lose to Jones, but I mean, we still got the rest of the season, and we'll still get to where we want to be.
You know, Coach Brandon had a terrific game last night. He had the pick six off the tip ball to score, and then later on in the game had that great sack of Favre when Favre was running for his life back there. Remember last year he helped save a game in overtime in the playoffs, so a tremendous contributor for the Bulldogs, and once again this year.
No question. Brandon's a leader for us on defense and a leader for our football team. He's a very hard worker, very dedicated football player, does a great job during the off season. He loves the weight room and loves the conditioning part of it, and just a heck of a football player. Very tough guy, very physical football player. Last year, like I said, the Northeast game, fourth quarter, well, it was overtime. He had the biggest play in that game defensively, created a turnover and kept them from getting any points. We went on and won the game, was able to play for a state championship. This game had big turnover. Had a great game last night, and he's been a great leader for us. So we're really, really proud of all that Brandon's been able to accomplish, and look forward to him continuing what he's got going here.
Congratulations, Brandon. Defense, as we said, pitching a shutout last night, 34-0. Against Pearl River. Well, coming up after the break, we'll stay on the defensive side of the ball and throw in one of our Chalk Talk segments. Heading in, we'll take a look at the NJCAA poll as the Bulldogs moved up to number 8 in the country. And coming out of the break before Chalk Talk, take a look and see how our soccer teams are doing. You're watching Bulldog Blitz here on WLOX. Bulldog fans and alumni, set your calendars for October 26th and 27th and come back to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College for Homecoming 2012. On Friday, play in the annual Clem Dellenger Memorial Golf Tournament at Windance Country Club, then join us that night at the Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. On Saturday, dive into all the homecoming festivities, capped off with the big game between Gulf Coast and East Central at 2 p.m. Homecoming 2012 at Gulf Coast. Come be a part of it.
Welcome to the Cave, affectionately known as the defensive meeting room here. When we first came here 8 years ago, this was an old weight room. The roof leaked. It was no carpet on the floor. It's kind of like a dungeon, and our kids started calling it the Cave because it was wet and damp. But as you can see, we've done a lot of work here, and it's a very nice meeting room now. This is where our players meet. We meet with them and do our game plans and prepare our guys for the upcoming games. What I want to talk about today, we've run our 3-3 defense now for 8 years. This is the 9th year, and we tweak it every year. And what people don't understand is we do different things different weeks to adjust to what our opponents do. The way we decide what we're going to do is we break our opponents down by personnel packages. For example, 10 personnel is 1 back, 0 tight ends. 11 personnel is 1 back and 1 tight end. If a person was in an old pro-style offense, that'd be 21, 2 backs and 1 tight end, et cetera, et cetera. So we base everything we do. We know that when a team is in 10 personnel, these are the formations that they can run against us. And in 11 personnel, there's 2 or 3 formations that they can run out of that personnel package. So therefore, our calls are made according to what personnel grouping that they're going to be in. What we have here on the board today is this is kind of our call sheet, our down and distance breakdown. P and 10, that's possession and 10. That's the first play of a new drive. You see next is 1st and 10. Now, if a team gets the ball and makes the first down, that's 1st and 10. We find that teams do different things on P and 10 and 1st and 10. That's why we separate the two. As you look at it now, we got our P and 10, our 10 personnel. These are the formations that they can get in those packages. These are the plays that they run out of those formations, and these are the calls we want to try to use to stop them with. And each personnel, each down and distant grouping is different because of what they do. They do different things on P and 10 or second and short or third and long, and it all is relative to what the offense. We feel like that offensive players are actors. They act out an assignment given to them by their coach. Defensive players have to be reactors. We have to react to what the offense does. And that's why we spend so much time and effort and study in breaking our opponents down and seeing what they do on first and 10, what they do on second and long and third and long. And as you see, as the down and distance change, our calls change, but according to what a team does. And so we try to teach and train our players to think about down and distance situations, player personnel groupings, and the formations and plays that they might run.
And you know, Coach, we've talked about this on offense, basically the same scheme since we've been here with, you know, some variations, really the same thing on defense. And you go back to last night's game and all through the years, the execution and the setup have been terrific. As you said, the players are the ones that executed out there, but when you have coaches that have been around the block as much as our staff has, 9 years together, probably knowing what each other's thinking, that really makes it cohesive.
It does. Anytime you have that continuity in your staff, you know what you're looking for at certain positions. We know what a Gulf Coast nose guard should look like, how fast he should be, how big. So when you're out recruiting, you know he fits what we do. You know what our ends look like. We know what our corners and safeties and backers. And whenever you're constantly changing staffs or changing defenses, you don't know. You know how it always, whenever a new staff comes in, it takes them a year or two to get things going. So there's such a benefit from having the continuity in staff and from having, Coach Davis, who's got tons of experience coaching defense at all levels. Stevon, who, has played at the highest level and done a tremendous job coaching and sent a lot of guys on. Dorset played at the highest level and has done a great job coaching those guys. So defensively, great staff, and it's great to have that continuity, the familiarity with the schemes. It's just, we'll play a game this week and we'll go, all right, well, 3 years ago we played Grand Rapids that lined up like this. We're going to play cover 2 roll or whatever. They all know what you're talking about. You're not having to start from scratch, which I've been on staffs over my career where every year it's something new. You lose coaches and you start from scratch. And it's great, especially in junior college where you do rotate players out every 2 years, to have the same coaches. That continuity really is a big benefit.
It certainly is. So congrats to the Bulldogs once again on that big win as we continue to roll through the 2012 season. The Thursday games are over. Now it's Saturdays from here on out, so we'll take a little bit of a break, then get ready for 2 straight road games. But the first one is most important because it's the next game, and that's going to be at Southwest a week from Saturday. So we kind of see where we are a little bit, then get ready for the grind, the home stretch.
Right. We're heading down the home stretch right now, but really what we've got to look at is one game. Southwest always plays us tough, regardless if it's home, away, if they have a great team or if they're having a down year, they always play Gulf Coast tough. And, I know that they've got a lot of talent. They did a good job out in recruiting. They've got some speed on both sides of the football and some size on both lines. Charlie Anthony, their head coach, does an outstanding job. He's also their defensive coordinator, and he always puts together a great defensive plan. I know their quarterback threw for 400 yards against Pearl River the week before, so he's got some weapons, he's got some speed at receiver, and the quarterback can really throw the football. So, and anytime you go down and play in Summit, that's a tough place to play. They've got a good home crowd and a good home field advantage there, so it's definitely a challenge that we're looking forward to and we need to be up for.
Now, is this still the Brittany Bowl, the Britney Spears Bowl? Because remember, her ex-husband of 20 Minutes played there for, a little bit. So,
right.
Is it still, even though we're having open recruiting now, can we still call it that?
Bill, we called it that last year because her boyfriend, her husband, played there. Was there? I'm trying to remember, but it was the Brittany Bowl. Did we have some tie to there from? But yeah. I guess it is.
I was grabbing for straws.
You know who also is from there? Jerry Clower.
Right.
Jerry Clower.
I learned that last night. Yeah, and I was supposed to remember that from a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, so we could do it the Jerry Clower Classic. How about that?
The Jerry Clower Classic. That's right. That's kind of a tongue twister too. But you got to get ready anytime you go over there. Southwest always has a strong football team. They've got a lot of tough. They Macomb, South Pike, that whole region over there has got. Tylertown's been really good in the last couple of years. A lot of great football players, a lot of great football teams. So big challenge for us and one we're looking forward to.
And that's right. And that game will be radio only. They don't have any internet over there set up at their stadium. It's sort of like Thunderdome, the way they've got a bowl around the field. So it does make it a little bit different to play over there, but that's called home field advantage. But anyway, we will play that game a week from Saturday at 5 o'clock. You can listen on 103.1 FM WOSM for all the action. But that's coming up later on. Right now, enjoy the 24-hour rule, I guess, with a 34-0 win over Pearl River. For Gulf Coast head coach Steve Campbell, I'm Bill Snyder. And today we have a studio audience of 5. So thanks for showing up, folks, huh? Yeah? Those were golf claps. We could do better than that, right? We'll really get rowdy the next game, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching Bulldog Blitz. Have a great night and a great weekend.
Push yourself. Good work today. You got that. Keep pushing yourself. There you go. We set the tone right here.
Takes it, fakes the handoff, now tries to get away from Cavellis Luckett. Luckett walks him down from behind and gets the sack.
Well, they said if he was going to be out there, they were going to blitz him.
Hatton back to pass, going deep, looking for Williams, and that pass is caught. Is it a touchdown? You betcha. Touchdown Bulldogs. Just another hookup between Hatton and DeQuil Williams. Dylan Favre looking left, in trouble. Pass is intercepted. Brandon Keel with the pick. 6. Brandon taking it to the house. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Somebody tipped it, and then he picked it up.
Nice job.
Hey, boy, you fat boy.
Do we need another tight end? What?
Boy, they got 4 men on the inside, so you want game to go to the line.
Oh, what?
Bus, screw up.
Go get out there. Here we go.
They're bringing Holder in motion. The fumble, and the Bulldogs kick it around. It goes backwards and finally picked up at the 35. And Gulf Coast stops the drive. The third turnover is picked up by Nigel Green. 1st and 10 from the 11. That's Hughes cutting inside. Hughes to the 5. Eli Hughes, second effort, breaks out of the pile. Touchdown Bulldogs. How do you do, Eli Hughes?